This is a new handbrake for my Mk6 Fiesta. So guys, if you've been following along with my channel, and you'll probably remember the last video I did where I attempted to fix the handbrake by putting new drums on, it didn't go all that well because it didn't actually fix the problem. So that led me to believe that the problem was actually with the handbrake cable itself. So I went ahead and bought a full new one just to be safe. My sort of belief that it was the anchor points that you get along the cable on the different various parts. The plastic tabs had all broken, so they were sort of sliding through the little holes you get everywhere, and it just meant that I haven't been able to park the car very effectively or safely. The handbrake works just on any steeper than like on my driveway sort of incline, the car starts to roll. But it does sort of catch itself eventually because the drums sort of cause friction, but obviously I can't be having that risk every time. I've got a brick in the boot which acts like a chock. So yeah, went ahead and bought the whole kit. This cost me £70 from Halfords, so that's 70 quid for the whole thing. I'm going to attempt to fix it on the driveway for no pounds, and if I can do it, then you guys can do it too. So I think the first thing to do is to remove this front part from the handbrake itself inside the car, and then we will get on with the rest of it.
First, chop the car so it don't roll away. Then jack it up and shove it on some really good axle stands. I'm really sorry about the view, everyone. Then go inside the car and remove the handbrake surrounding. Using a deep reach 10mm and a long extension, undo the nut on the long jack screw. Once it's all the way off, put the nut to one side and push the cable through the bottom of the handbrake lever. Then pretend it's a hydraulic handbrake and just have some fun. Next, go under the car, to the middle, to the front of the fuel tank, and you'll see the cable attachment. And then this little plastic clip. Push this in and pop it out, and pull the cable through the bottom of the car. Try not to smack yourself in the face when you do this. Next, these two cables need to be pulled out. Mine are really old and stiff, and I found the best way was to just bend them down and break the plastic bit, as I'm going to be replacing it anyway. Then take the cable off the mounts, being careful not to snap them. And you can see how cruddy and perished mine are. You need to do this on both sides. Then, going back to the wheel, use a 30mm nut to spin off the stubby shaft. A little trick I've learned for easy drum get off is to use the wheel for more leverage, but be careful as it is extremely heavy this way. Then, pry forward the handbrake arm and pull the cable out. You may need to pull some slack on the rest of the handbrake cable to do this. It is very fiddly and tight, but it does eventually go. Then push out the anchor point. I did have to use a hammer and screwdriver for this. Then use some pliers to push out the next anchor point. Again, fiddly and annoying. Pull off these metal tabs. They can be rusty, so use pliers to split them open. Then push the cable out, and you can now remove the whole cable. Now on to replacing the cable. Start with the last piece, push it back through the hole in the drum and pull through. You can then attach it to the handbrake arm. Then take the new cable and slide it under the car. Thread it through the anchor points and make sure it clips in place, and attach it to the back piece. Simply slide it into the bracket and pull hard. Then go along the car and reattach it to all the mounts. Then attach the front brace, and trying to do this while holding the camera was difficult, but you have to push it back up inside the car. You can then reattach the clips to the mounting point anchors. I did find undoing this small screw at the back helped me gain access to the cable to be able to push it up into the handbrake arm. Once done, you can then reattach the 10mm nut, tighten it up a little as we now need to set the handbrake tension. With the cable slack, go back to the rear of the rear brake and make sure to screw the adjustment until the drums lightly contact the shoes. Use a screwdriver or pliers to turn the adjuster. I had to do this a few times to get it right. But you're looking for a small amount of resistance, not too much on the drum as you spin it. And this is perfect. You can then tighten the 10mm up. The handbrake in these, I've heard, should be around 4 to 5 clicks of tension, so use that as a benchmark for the setting, but it is up to you. Right guys, I've finished adjusting the handbrake. It feels a hell of a lot better than it did. The wheels don't turn when it's in the air now, which is good. Has it worked? Well, I'm currently on the driveway on the hill. Let the handbrake off, we're rolling. Yeah! Oh, that is nice. Done. 70 quid. Handbrake cable on. That's brilliant. I can't begin to describe to you sometimes how when you're driving a car that's high mileage, there's certain things that break on it which you take for granted in other cars when they're working. Like the boot lid not opening on my car, which has been a problem for ages. We actually solved it the other day, and it's like, oh my god, like the boot lid opens and actually stays open. Like, it's stuff like that you wouldn't think would make that much difference. Just like the handbrake. The handbrake hasn't been working in this car for months, and it's so annoying. And it's something you take for granted because in most cars they just work. But obviously it's a Ford, it's high mileage. Yeah guys, that is how to do a handbrake cable on a Mk6 Fiesta. Not the hardest job in the world, if I'm honest. A little bit fiddly in places, but it's not that difficult. And for £70, it's a bargain. And you can do it on the driveway with bare minimal tools, I thought. Probably need a few more than your average toolkit, but yeah, just sort of go and try it. Not the hardest job in the world, if I'm completely honest. Anyways guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope you found it informative and fun. And yeah, basically don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers, I noticed the other day, so it'd be really, it would mean so much to me if you guys just subscribe to the channel, like the content, share it around, share it with your friends. Yeah, but as always guys, keep enjoying those modified cars, and I will see you in my next video.